Yep, most definitely.
We are going to get into our next topic.
Black Wall Street.
Man.
That's amazing. Are you ready right now?
I'm ready. Hit it up. Hit it up.
Hey, most definitely. If you guys aren't already familiar with this, the Black Wall Street Fund started by the one and only Mr. Jay Morrison, Jersey's own, from your hometown.
Yeah,
but
I just found out yesterday he was from Jersey.
Really dope. But I think it's amazing seeing how somebody who was a drug dealer in prison has started a real estate fund in memory of Black Wall Street, which was one of the most influential black cities ever. And seeing how it was so powerful to the point that the government had to actually bomb it. And this was before 9/11, way before that. So seeing how that happened, people lost their homes, but Black Wall Street had the most black millionaires in one city. So seeing how this is starting is crazy.
Can you give us a background on with the Black Wall Street?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, so Black Wall Street, there was a small part of Tulsa, Oklahoma that was majority black.
Yeah.
But this city was thriving. They had black people with huge homes, black oil tycoons. Imagine that. I mean, they had oil wells. They were pumping out like 2,000 gallons a day.
You don't even hear about that, do you, huh? Black oil tycoons? Black Jerry Jones. Yeah, that's amazing.
So you know how much gas is right now. So imagine being a black person with that generational. That was
Controlling
just 2-3. This was in 1921. So my grandmother was.
That's probably a generation like maybe after slavery.
Two generations ago.
Ended in 1863.
Man.
Yeah.
And they were saying how the dollar stayed in the community.
Well, yeah, because they had their own stores, they had their own marketplaces, they did business with each other. But it's not because they just thought of this huge idea like, hey, let's get together and do this. It was segregated.
Yeah, so you had to.
You couldn't. So
That's
they were
facts.
okay, white people, fine. Oklahoma is one of the parts of the country that has oil.
Mm-hmm.
So they just started digging, they drilled, they sold 2,000, some of them up to 2,000 gallons of oil a day. They did not want to. They did not want to share with the white people. They just were not legally. They never had to. So as soon as Oklahoma became a state, it was segregated. Like that was one of the first things that they did.
Wow.
So this part of Tulsa, Oklahoma, I think what is the name of it? Greenwood, was thriving. Okay, so like I said, this part of town was segregated from the other parts of town. It was separated by some train tracks.
Okay. Wrong side of the track. So that was
Wrong
like
side
a real
of the tracks,
thing.
The artifacts are from the wrong. Shout out to the artifacts, Jersey. Anyway, so they were not able to go over there.
Okay.
So one day this man was going downtown. He got in the elevator. The attendant in the elevator was a young 17-year-old white woman. When he opened the elevator, she screamed.
So that's how everything started. I didn't know that. Okay.
So once the newspaper got a hold of it, which would today be once it got on Twitter, once social media got a hold of it, it got blown up like, oh, he tried to rape her.
I never knew that.
So back in the days, I guess they had some public squares because every time you hear about some crazy shit that went down, it will always happen like in the middle of town. And if you notice, that's where all the like Confederate monuments are. So back in the day, they always congregated in this one part of town where they could whatever. So they congregated to like, okay, we're gonna lynch this guy. He touched the white girl. So that brought out the black people.
Wow.
When the black people came downtown with their guns that they were legally able to have.
Hey, you're putting me on the game right now. I had no idea about this.
So one of the guys that was there had his gun, and he actually was a member of the service. And the white guy said to him, what are you going to do with that gun, nigger?
Oh, he going to use it.
He was like, I'm going to defend myself. They went downtown to try to protect the prisoners, the black prisoners, because that's who they used to lynch first. Whenever somebody black did something, they would pull somebody out of prison, take them down the middle of town, and hang them on a tree, right? So they went down there to protect the prisoners. That altercation sparked off a fight because the gun went off. They had some sort of thing.
Serious?
So now white people start killing black people. Black people are killing white people. At the end of it, they were I'm saying it like lightly, like at the end of it, let me tell you what happened. They were actually burning people's homes. They were going to people's homes, pulling them out of them. They were killing them. They were fighting back and forth. But when the white people started losing the fight, the National Guard came in. Not only the National Guard on foot, the National Guard on plane.
Yep.
Bombing the homes of the black people because this is like 1920.
So this is before World War II, all that stuff.
About that, and it just show you that the history how he portrays on our history that
we're the bad ones.
Not even that we was the bad ones, but we was the slaves and
we didn't know how to make money.
But we had this power like in 1920.
They tried
we was able to make a whole
that fast.
you know, basically economic sector.
And guess what?
Thriving.
Guess what was going on in the rest of the country in the early 1920s? The Depression.
It was about to start.
So that was a collapse of their Wall Street.
And bro, here's the
Yeah.
thing: slavery ended in 1863,
That's what I'm saying.
and the
Like,
fact that this
we-
occurred
I
in 1920,
feel like that's why I always say we give white people, we get other
Too
people
much credit.
we do.
Because it's like for us to be able to do this and get out of slavery in
But it's
1860,
mental. That's a
that
part of
wasn't 100
mental.
years.
That's a part of mental slavery.
Not even 50 though, right?
Huh?
That's not even 50 yet, is
It's
it?
about 50, it was about 50 years.
Almost, yeah.
That's,
Wow.
What are you guys talking about? 50.
No, from
50 years.
slavery to the Black Wall Street.
Oh,
less than like less than half a
Right,
century,
Right.
and you're already just doing that. That's
So
amazing.
the National Guard, they come through
amazing.
with planes from the war, and they start firebombing the neighborhood. Needless to say, all the homes were burned down.
Wow.
So the people started pitching tents.
Yeah.
Like black people, as resilient as we are, they were just
Throughout
like,
the winter.
oh
remember
yeah.
that.
So they just
Yeah.
started pitching tents and starting all over again. They did file a lawsuit, which brings us to the beginning of what our subject
You already
is.
know how that goes when we do that.
So they brought up a lawsuit. They went to court, and guess what?
we took the L.
Even the insurance companies who paid some of them, but they locked up the black people for rioting. When they went to court, they were like, oh well, you're lost. So they've been trying to get back into purchasing this old neighborhood, bringing it back to life, bringing back the concept of a Black Wall Street.
I love it. I
I
love
think
it.
it's coming though, because a lot of people, I know me personally, I try to like, shop with black people, shop with black people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's coming just more on a bigger scale. With the internet, it's easy to, reach LA from here. And all
Yeah,
that.
most
I
definitely.
don't think it's ever gonna be like a Greenwood, just that one street like that. But I think
Right.
it's gonna be more of an electronic thing to everybody. I feel like we're at a time where a lot of black people are supporting each other.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take
Because
it.
we
I'll
see
take
the
it.
value in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I'll take anything right now. And then seeing how this is being revived is lovely, because growing up, you will always hear about Black Wall Street. So seeing how kids, they can finally learn about like what this is and actually feel something that's real, and you can contribute to this. You can pay, you can help just regrow this whole entire process. So I love it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
So
it's beautiful.
they actually went and sought reparations.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
For how much? At least $1 million, probably.
I guess that would have come in part 2 of the reparations hearing. This was, I think, in 2003.
Oh wow! So that was a minute.
They are hoping that the lawsuit was going to go through, but I think they nixed it. It's saying that the insurance companies had already paid. Like, that was your reparation, your house caught on fire.
That's trash.
And so
That's trash.
if you got paid, then that was enough. Like, the feds don't want... See, the thing, too, about when we say that these... Now we're starting to see, like, Charlotte and all these cities say, oh, we're sorry for slavery. It's like, okay, well, what you going to do about
I'm
it?
sorry.
Like...
Real solutions.
Okay, like...
It takes.
Okay, now you're saying you're sorry, but an admission of guilt to me means that I'm owed something.
I'll tell you
or
this,
we're
and
owed something.
You hit it right on the head. If you're truly sorry, put some
Make it
money in
up
my
to
pocket.
me.
Because you're just doing this for PR.
But
That's all what
after
it
the
is.
Jim Crow laws, the Jim Crow era, they think that like, what's the name of the law where it's like, you have to have so many black people in your company or in your school or whatever.
Affirmative action. Nah.
Affirmative action. They think that's reparations. Like they think making
you can get a job. Like,
right. They think that giving you a seat at the opportunity, not giving you a seat.
I wouldn't even say it's a seat at the
giving
table.
you the opportunity to have a seat at the table is your reparation.
Opportunity.
Congratulations. Fill out this application.
And I'm gonna throw this in the trash.
I'm gonna call you back. That's what they think reparations are.
But opportunity, that's such a gray area. That's such a gray area, because opportunity means that I can take it away from you.
True.
So I mean, that's nothing. That's
So
nothing.
the thing that we wanted to talk about is shout out to Jay Morrison.
Yeah, most definitely. Big shout out to him. That's
big
huge.
shout out to he
All
lives in
love.
Atlanta, so we're gonna
Yeah,
we're
he stays
gonna
in Buckhead.
try. I'm just hoping one day he will come over here and talk to us about
Yeah.
this, because this is awesome.
It's huge.
He started a real estate fund, mutual fund called Tulsa. It's named after that situation that we just talked about in Greenwood, Oklahoma.
Yep.
And it's dope.
It's amazing. It's amazing because, again, kids are learning again what Black Wall Street is, but this is through a brand new lens.
Right.
A digital lens, like what you said, Jay Black. So seeing how people, they can actually contribute to this cause. It's amazing.
Yeah, so he started a real estate fund.
Oh, that's a really nice website. I like that.
Yeah, he has a nice website.
Okay.
It's TulsaRealEstateFund.com, appropriately. And basically, this fund, it's just named Tulsa. You're going to get to something that he's actually doing in Tulsa.
Yeah.
But the fund is a mutual fund. It's kind of like a REIT, a real estate investment trust. If you know what those are, if you know about mutual funds, it's like a collection of stocks, right? Like you don't own Apple, Microsoft, Facebook stock because it's $2, $3, $4, $100 a share, and you don't want to do that. So what you do is you invest in a tech mutual fund, which will have little parts of each company in the collective fund. So what he does is he bought a lot of real estate
properties.
here on
Yeah,
West
that's what he
Side of
does.
Atlanta.
Yep.
He bought some in Baltimore. He bought some in Newark. So when you purchase this mutual fund, you own a part of these properties as well. I think he was the first black man to do this, or somebody that did these particular neighborhoods, because he's specifically going to black neighborhoods. So the minimum investment when the stock went public was $500. You get 10 shares for $500.
It's not
a
bad.
$500 investment. He said that what the return was going to be was 5%, and the shareholders get 50% of the profit as well.
That's a really good deal.
So that's a good deal. Of course, no investment is guaranteed a good return or a return at all.
Mm-hmm.
But this, to me, is worth it if you want to learn about investing and you think, oh, I want to start off somewhere. I think this is a good way.
Yeah,
because he's registered with the SEC, the Security Exchange Commission, who is the regulatory agency for financial services, stock mutual funds, blah, blah, blah. Because he's registered with them, he is obligated to give full disclosure. Like when you have a mutual fund and he's the fund manager, so he picks what the investments are.
Okay.
All mutual funds have a fund manager. They get a percentage. I think he said that his fund, they give 5% to the fund manager.
Still not bad.
Still not bad. And you get to see exactly what he's invested in, and you will look at your investment and be proud because you know he's investing it into the neighborhood. And he has like courses and stuff that
Jay
you
Morrison
can.
Academy. Yeah, you can join that.
So
Yeah.
I think that financial literacy is something that we need to pay more attention to in our community.
Yeah.
Put that in the school system.
That's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
They need to teach, and I think they need to teach real life.
Word.
me and my friends were having that same conversation. And honestly, bro, I feel like that's why all these kids are just disinterested, because these aren't real life situations. Because if you have a kid that sees his mom working 3 jobs, struggling, then he's like, how is me learning about Christopher Columbus gonna help me get out of my current
And
situation?
that's why people drop out of school.
Is just more of, it's bad. I mean, it's not bad, but it's like indirect teaching. Like math, they teach you how to think critically. Like,
Yeah.
it's just more indirect instead of like some people.
Straight to the point.
Yes, I know we.
Hands-on training.
Yeah.
Hands-on
That's it.
training.
Interactive.
So Jay Morrison is having a workshop, and there's a live stream available on blackwealthweekend.com on August 18th and 19th, and it's here in Atlanta. I like him because he not only talks about, wealth,
Yeah.
but from a standpoint of your family.
Yeah.
I mean, he says that he wants to do this for his family. He wants the Morrison last name to mean something. And I say that all the time, like, dudes, it happens. It happens in my family. But back in the day, there was a time when men were so proud of their last name and their legacy and their heritage that they wouldn't dare. Like, my grandfather would, frown if he saw me on the corner. Like, my granddaughter cannot be. Like, there was a time when people had pride in their name.
Yep.
Nowadays,
Hey, they just
you'd
trying to
be
get a
hard
check.
pressed to find 5 siblings with the same last name, or the same upbringing,
Yeah.
or the same morals, or the same values. Because
That's
a lot
real.
of times the women are the ones that are heading up the.
Head of the house. That's real. And again, it takes the family. Like every other culture, you see a strong presence when it comes to the family.
It does.
It
You
could be
do.
Asians, Italians, whatever. Everything is organized too.
Yeah.
And Jewish people, they always say that
Oh my God.
the Jewish dollar has
Yeah.
to touch at least 20 hands before it touches anybody else. So seeing how 20 people in your community, it might not even be 20 people on your street. So the fact that that's taught at a very young age, that you have to share, you have to build. We need that same sentiment.
We have to.
And we need that same thing.
We have to get back to family, love, support.
Yeah.
Black people love each other. Please, whatever you gotta do to do that, do it.
It's happening though.
It's happening. I
It's
see
happening.
it happening.
I feel it.
see it. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. You
Yeah.
feel the love?
I feel the love.
I feel the love.
All
Okay.
positive vibes. We good.
Positive vibes only. All right, so